This is a Channel Africa podcast. You can also get Channel Africa on satellite, PAS10, DSTV Audio Bouquet 802, and OpenView Bouquet, Channel 628.
We now welcome to the conversation very special guest. We've got players from Worldwide Scholarships, that is Excel Orodu, together with Ndale Rambuda. And of course, they are accompanied by the mentor of the beautiful game, a man who's been part of the game for many years. That is Fabrizio Picaretta, born on the 15th of November, 1965, who is an Italian UEFA Pro licensed coach. He is the coach of the Under-19 Primavera squad of SPAL. Under the tenure of Paolo Di Canio. He served as both assistant manager and later caretaker manager following Di Canio's resignation at Swindon Town. And of course, he's a football scout as well. But the man is here to tell us more because, you know, anything you research can never be sufficient versus hearing it from the horse's mouth. Coach, a very warm welcome to South Africa. How long have you been here now?
First of all, thank you for your warm welcome and the nice words. I've been here now for 12 days. It's my first time in South Africa.
Yeah?
Not the first time in Africa, because many years ago I've been to Cameroon. But I have to say that I'm enjoying it for the, let's say, the friendly people, the beautiful country you have. So I'm enjoying very much. And once again, thank you for your welcome.
Wow, lovely stuff. I love the Italian attire. As soon as you walked in, I was like, yeah, no, they didn't bring a fake to Africa and play. They brought the real man all the way from Italy. Tell us more about the Italian style when it comes to fashion.
No, it's not. I'm not the right one to talk about fashion in Italy because I wore this just for today, but usually I'm not wearing this
usually
kind of stuff.
I'm
just
the sporting
shorts.
gear.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, I of course, I want to give a good account of myself, because in this moment I represent my country, not just myself.
Good knowledge.
And of course, WWS. Italian style is renowned in the world, maybe because we like to have this, to be recognized for people that likes a good lifestyle. But it's not just that. I don't want to be identified like someone that just look at his image. I'm more on the facts and the substance.
Yeah. Talking about the beautiful game of football, when did you first meet this beautiful sporting code?
Since I was a kid. I mean, I started playing football since I was 7. I grown up in one good academy in Italy, of my hometown, Sampdoria, Genova. And I have to say I didn't have a successful career as a player. For many reasons, because I had all the qualities that a player must have, but probably I lacked the most important one. I lacked the real desire to make it. And this is something I like to say also to my players, the young players, that don't look just at those that have made it, because usually kids like to read books about Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, but listen also to the stories of those who didn't make it, because they can teach you something about the mistakes that you can make that can prevent you to become a professional footballer, which is what I had, mistakes that I made in my life, unfortunately. Bad choices, maybe not taking things too seriously when it's the right time. And then when you realize that you made and you lost these chances, it's too late. But then for this reason, when I started to become a coach, when I became a coach, I decided that I wouldn't want to repeat the same mistakes, and I started to take everything very seriously, since I was a coach in the lower leagues in Italy. And so for this reason, I always try to be prepared for the chance to come, because I always say to myself, if something happens, I want to be ready. And fortunately for me, in 2008, I had the chance to attend one of the most important coaching courses in Italy. And in that course, there were a lot of ex-players, famous players. One of them is Paolo Di Canio, that you mentioned before. We start to collaborate together, in that course, and probably saw something that was good for him in my view, in my way of seeing football. And in 2011, when he started his coaching career in England, he decided to offer me the position as assistant manager. So basically, from 2011, I'm coaching professionally in the game. My career has been a bit of a roller coaster because I can say I coached in many countries, in Europe especially, at all levels, youth level, adult level, first team, Premier League as assistant, and also I spent a lot, most of my career as a youth coach in some of the most important clubs in Italy, such as Inter Milan, and especially the most important one, maybe AS Roma. Now, after the recent experience in Albania as assistant to another top former player, Luigi Di Biagio, now I decided to accept this offer from Mr. Maraire, who is running this project, this program, which is something we will discuss maybe later also with the boys. And now I'm full immersion in this project. So
wow.
I'm enjoying that.
Bellissimo.
Grazie.
Fantastico. Let's also welcome the main stakeholders of the beautiful game of football, Excel Arodu, together with Ndale Rambuda. Excel, let's start with you. Let's talk about football and worldwide scholarships. What role are you playing there?
Hello everyone, I'm Excel Arodu. Worldwide Scholarship, it's a platform for young players like myself to showcase their talent and passion for the game. This way, they give you chances in countries like Europe and wherever you want. Universities and all that, they're all good with those. They at WWS, they train you, they nurture you, so you can bloom into the talent that is needed to be shown at the world stage. Yes.
Wow. And how long have you been part of worldwide scholarships?
I only joined recently because I went to trial last year, December, and I got selected. So now I'm just training and preparing to go to Italy.
Wow. And how old are you now?
Yeah, I'm 19.
19?
Yes.
Wow, lovely stuff. Let's also bring to the conversation Ndale Rambuda. Ndale, a very good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Africa at Play.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I would like to tell you about Worldwide Scholarship. So I joined, I would say, early March, February. I joined Worldwide Scholarships. They came to us. We were by Copper Leaf. They joined us. They took over. So I used to play for academy called Hardcore Basics. It was in Copper Leaf. So Worldwide Scholarships came, they gave us an offering and they started training us. So as they were training us, they met one of our boys who used to train with us, Charlie. He is now overseas in Italy and so far things are going good for him. So in my advice, I would say that Worldwide Scholarships, it really does a lot and it really gives you a sign of how things should work in a professional way of football, more realistically.
Wow, super exciting. And how old are you this year?
I'm 19.
19. Coach, these boys, are they in the good age to make it overseas?
Yes, because the project that Worldwide Scholarships have is basically aimed in three directions. There are sort of, I would say, three branches of the project. One is to help the players that want to progress in their academics studies. We help them to go and study and play at the soccer college level in the United States, because in United States sports and study and academics are very much close, and this is something that from my point of view is very important for them. And then there is another part which I think that Excel and Dale are aimed to is the one that route them to Italy or other countries in Europe. And for these players, we try to prepare them to make sure that they can be ready to play adult football, because they are in an age where in Italy they will be asked to play straight away at adult level, which means not Serie A, but starting from, let's say, the fourth league, which is already a good level in Italy, not very easy. So what we do at WWS is to, as Axel said, we want them to understand the challenges that they will be facing once there, because different countries, different environment, different culture, different level, a lot of things that if you're not prepared, you go there and then you will be shocked, and probably they wouldn't perform like they are supposed to do. So for this reason, we try and help them to give them the more information as possible to be prepared once there and to succeed. And then for the youngest one, we have let's say a project for the most talented ones, of course, to try and bring them in professional academies where they can continue their development until they are ready to play at a higher level. I don't want to say that Axel and Dale are not up for that, but unfortunately for their age, they are not anymore. It's not possible to bring them anymore to a professional academy because they are considered already adult. But I'm sure that with their qualities and their desire to succeed, and in our way to prepare them, they can make it, and then hopefully is what we wish them for.
15:55 for Central African time. This is Africa at Play. As Deleli Siashaya, we still have an exciting conversation with Coach Fabrizio Picaretta all the way from Italy in Europe, together with the main stakeholders of the beautiful game, Axel Arodu and Ndale Rambuda. Coach, thank you so much, and of course the two players for being with us on Africa at Play. Coach, any players abroad in Italy trying their luck that side, and how's it going?
Yes, we have currently two players, Charles and Z, that currently having a trial in my hometown, in Genova, with two clubs there at fifth level. It's their first experience abroad, and of course in Italy as well. And then they have just finished the first week, and then where they did these trials in Genova. And now they're traveling to Milan, because they're gonna take another week of trials with other couple of clubs, and they will be accompanied by our technical director, Amedeo Mangone, who is a colleague of mine, UEFA Pro License coach as well. And then, they're doing well. We had good feedback. Of course, all the feedback is, like we said, about players that know how to play football, but they have to, let's say, improve, especially from a intensity point of view, because at that level the intensity rate is very high. So, but they are giving a very good account of themselves. So they are taking ourselves proud, and their families. So we are very happy with that.
Super exciting indeed. Axel, having worked with Coach Picaretta, what has he said to you that is still stuck in your mind that you think you can take it to the next level with your game of football?
Coach has told me many times that talent isn't enough, that you have to be disciplined and hardworking. Because let's take Balotelli, for example. He's a talented player. He could have gone way more than what he is if he was just had more discipline. So discipline, that's basically it.
And Ndale, what can you tell us about the importance of discipline?
I would really say the importance of discipline, it should mainly be of what you do when you're not on the field. So basically, how you go to training, when you go to training. Do you actually want to train? Are you actually serious about it? So I feel like discipline it doesn't work on the field. You can be disciplined on the field, it doesn't matter. But mainly coaches and how it works overseas is that when it's not time for soccer, how are you? Are you actually serious about what you want to do, or is this thing just because you're talented, that's why you want to play, or how is it?
Yeah. And coach, having these two players on board, Excel and Ndale, what would you say are the areas of improvement for them?
I would say Excel is a natural goal scorer. In my opinion, he has to work a lot playing with the team, because he's the typical striker who just live for the goal. And there are moments where you have to also help the team and be a team player. But is a quality that you learn with experience. But it is normal that a player young like him is his target and he lives for the goal. So, but this is his area of improvement, and the other big area of improvement is what he mentioned. So discipline, because like Ndale rightly said, we call it invisible training. So is what you don't see. Training is visible. When all the players that I met here in South Africa, when they train, they give 200%. Then what is important is also what you do before and after the session. So Ndale is a natural midfielder. He got pace, he got legs, he runs, he is an hard worker. And his other improvement, in my opinion, is to try and give himself better knowledge of the time, when to do things, the pace of the game. Sometimes he does everything at high speed. Sometimes as a center midfielder, you have to be able also to slow down a bit, make the ball runs more, and you have to run less. So sometimes running a lot, running is important in football, but sometimes when you run a lot too much is even too much. So sometimes you have to be good and make the ball run more than you.
And only run when it is necessary to do so.
Exactly.
Is there a difference between European football, you can even talk about Italian football if you like, and South African or African football?
I would say yes, because probably I was at the match last week, and what you can see sometimes that African players like to do something that is for the show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, for the fans. Sometimes, and in Europe, I would say that you are required to be effective. You are required to take always the right decision on the field. Maybe less show, but more effectiveness. From this point of view, but to be honest, I don't want to do, let's say, to separate things according to the countries, because I had the chance to work with many African players, and all of them they got different qualities. So it's not African players, Italian players. Maybe it's the environment and the type of football that shapes you. So, for example, I had a player in Italy in the Academy of AS Roma that was exactly the opposite. It was like just one touch, two touch. So it was the most effective player I ever coached. So as you can see, it's not about where you were born, but the way that you shaped your football style.
A lot of African players are discovered at a late age. Is it a problem?
Maybe, honestly, yes, because the more the time goes, the more we go forward in football. All the clubs wants to always try and find young players, or even younger. If 20 years ago, a 30 years old player was considered also in the, let's say, in his best moment. The best moment of his career. Now it looks like 30 years is already, you're already old. So for this reason, it's important if the young players understand that they have to I don't want to say hurry, but they have to fast and understand straight away the game and make sure that they got everything right to make it now, not in 3 years, because maybe it can be too late.
Good knowledge. Wow, super exciting indeed. Axel, the position you play, what position is it?
I play different positions, but I prefer like the center forward role.
Because I heard the coach saying you're a natural goal scorer, you know.
Yeah, I like
and I know that South Africa historically has battled with outright goal scorers. I mean, if you look at the DSTV Premiership, it's always a battle. If you find a South African top goal scorer, you're looking at about 13, 14 goals, and that's like a goal in the first half of the league, and in the second half it's a dry season. So, you know, it's quite a concern. Are you loving it in the position that you're playing?
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love playing in there because I can create something for the team, and I can also like having the winning goal is always the best feeling.
Yeah. And how do you feel knowing that you've contributed positively to the victory or for the team to triumph on the day?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling. Obviously, the win is always what is chased after, but getting the goal to cause it is also nice as well.
Ndale, when last did you play a game of football?
Last week, Sunday.
Yeah, how did it go?
It went bad. It was a 2-1 loss.
Yeah.
2-1 loss. We tried, but it was a 2-1 loss.
Where do you think the team went wrong?
I would say it was just lousy mistakes and not actually finishing on the chances that we had.
Yeah. And how important is it to be part of the team and understand the values of the team as a team member?
Well, looking at my role, I feel like it's very important to actually know a lot about my teammates. I need to know like each and every single player, what's one player's strength and what's the other player's weakness. Because I feel like as a midfielder, you need to be aware of each and every single thing. You need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to be aware of who's open. You need to be aware of when to hold, when to release. So like there's a lot, because the ball won't actually be played if you are not in the game.
Good knowledge.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I feel like you need to know a lot as a midfielder, a lot of general knowledge about
If things
soccer.
go according to plan and you get to play anywhere abroad, what would your favorite destination be? Which team would you like to play?
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Definitely Arsenal.
Are they winning the league this season?
We are going to win the league.
Yeah?
We are going to win the league.
Yeah. Tell me about Saka. What kind of a player is he? Because I know he's described by many as one of the best wingers globally.
Well, I would say he is one of the best wingers globally, but like I feel like a lot of media is what affects the boy, because he's still young.
Yeah.
But
he's what, 22?
He's 22. Yeah. So I feel like he's a great winger. He's strength. He's fast. He knows how to finish. He can take on a player. He helps. But it's just media. But I would say he's like the best player in Premier League.
Yeah. Super exciting indeed. And if you get to play for the Gunners of London, Arsenal, which team would you like to beat the most?
Definitely City.
Oh,
I wouldn't think so.
I thought so. I should become a prophet. And do you, Axel, your favorite team globally?
My favorite team is Man City.
Man City.
Yes.
Eish, imagine if things just go according to plan. You play for Man City, he plays for Arsenal, and you play against each other.
The thing is, my dad is an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
So I have to, at home, I'm an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
But outside, I'm
yeah,
a City
you're a Man City fan.
Yes.
How do you think your dad will feel one day walking onto the pitch at Etihad Stadium, you know, in that sky blue jersey of the Citizens? How would he feel you playing against Arsenal and you beat Arsenal like there's no tomorrow?
I don't think he's gonna be happy for me. I don't think he's gonna complain about me playing at Man City. Yeah.
Eish, so his heart will be divided into two. My son is doing well, but my team is losing because of him. Super exciting indeed. Coach, the sky is the limit. Will these boys make it to Man City and Arsenal?
I hope for them, because I think that if I think about myself, when I started coaching, I was coaching in the youth academy of a, let's say, lower league in Italy. And if someone have told me that one day I would have sat on the bench at Wembley, which I did, I would say no, it's not possible. This means that everything is possible if you want it, if you are prepared to do it. Then you need a bit of luck, because in life we all need luck. But I like to say that the luck doesn't look at you if you're not prepared.
Good knowledge. And Coach Jose Ribeiro doing wonders for Orlando Pirates. Beautiful free kick scored under his mentorship. It was almost like a substitution where he leaves and you come on board, or you leave and he comes on board. Please tell us more about it.
No, me and Jose Ribeiro have crossed our path first time in Finland, because when I was a head coach at Inter Turku, it's a club in the top tier in Finland. At the time, he was assistant in another club, HJK Helsinki, the main team in Finland. So he was there as assistant. We had one of our best. I had one of my best day in football when we won with my team. We won the Finnish Cup, and he was on the bench for the other team. So my best satisfaction was one of his worst day in football.
Yeah.
But almost 1 month after that day, I decided to leave and go back to Italy, because AS Roma offered me a job. And at the end of the season, Inter Turku decided to replace me by calling Jose, and he did very well in the 2 years that he was there. And then he moved here to Orlando Pirates, and I think and I know that he's doing a great job here.
Yeah, no, he's definitely doing a great job. This victory, if it ends like this, it means Orlando Pirates will be playing in the final of the Nedbank Cup. Mamelodi Sundowns and Stellenbosch FC are playing tomorrow to decide who goes through and meet Orlando Pirates if they do win. And it will be exciting to see that final between Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns, if it is to be. But Stellenbosch FC, it's a side you can't write off. Super exciting indeed. Any pressure as a coach? Do you feel pressure as a coach?
No, the only pressure that I feel is the one I give to myself. I mean, it's weird to say, but I worked as assistant manager in Premier League, and when you're assistant manager, even in Premier League, you don't feel the same pressure that you feel
as the head coach,
maybe in a lower league. You know, this is what I think any coach can say, because when you are the face of the team, you are the main, let's say, leader, you feel all the pressure, on your shoulder. But maybe that kind of pressure I stopped to feel it after maybe 10 years ago, because now with experience and the games that you are involved in, then this kind of pressure is something that you bear better than before. Again, I give myself pressure because I'm a man that wants always to have everything done in the right way, starting from myself. And this is why when my team loses, I always feel bad, because I take the responsibility on my shoulder. I'm not the one who blame the others because we didn't do well. But this is my nature, and helped me a lot during my career. So this is my pressure.
Yeah. How did the trials go earlier today at Worldwide Scholarships?
It was good. We had almost 60 players this morning from all ages. From the older one was 2002 and the youngest one 2011. So of course we split groups according to the group ages. But again, when you see these trials, you can see players that give their 100%. Then, of course, it's up to us as a technical staff to try and find those who we think that can be ready maybe now. But also the most difficult thing is to spot those who are not ready, but still they have something. So it's easy to see those who can light up your attention because they have some skills. The most difficult thing as a scout is to identify those players who maybe you don't see often during the game, but you understand they have some something and they can maybe express later.
And for a player who receives the ball a lot, how quick do you tell that, no, Neto is a good player?
After 5 minutes.
After 5 minutes?
Yes, because there is some traits of a player that you can tell these traits can tell you straight away if this player has something. Or, for example, talking about Ndale or midfielders, something that I watch in a midfielder is what they do without the ball. So when his team have the ball but they are not involved, if they find for space, empty space, if they lead the others, if they tell the other what to do, this is a very good point for a midfielder, for example, or for a striker like Excel, what they do when they lose the ball. If a striker try to beat his opponent and he didn't make it, I don't want to see a striker that stop his run and like nothing happened. I want someone that maybe try to recover and win it back and help the team. So with experience, I can say anyway that it takes very few minutes to understand that if a player has something or not.
12 days in South Africa. How long are you still going to be here?
I'll be staying here until end of month, and then I will be back. I will be back to Italy, and then I will come back here because one thing that is very important to know and to tell is that in August we will we organized something that we call Scouting Festival. Will be here in Pretoria, 100%, and from now until the end of July, we are going to visit many countries in not only Southern Africa but also West and East Africa, where we organize showcases for the local players. At the end of this period, we will select a group of players that will participate this scouting festival, and at this scouting festival will be invited coaches from Europe, coaches and scouts from Europe, that they will come here to watch our players, selected players to play. So instead of bringing players in Europe, in this case we bring the scouts from abroad here in South Africa.
I know for sure that Africa is talented because of the talent I've seen in different countries. But your thoughts on South Africa? Is there talent here?
Talent is everywhere. It takes just the time and the will and the desire to go and try and find it. Because I think that if you think that until when I was young in Europe, you wouldn't have ever thought about an African player, because different times. But so you would think at some countries like Africa or Asia, like places where football is not even practiced. But there were different times. So there were different times. Now I think that it takes just the patience and the desire to go and check properly and give these guys chances to show their qualities, and this is what the worldwide scholarships is trying to do.
Talking about WWS, are you happy with their structure?
Yes, because our director, Mr. Muni Amaraire, is doing a great job. This project been running since 7 or 8 years ago, focusing more on other sports. Still with the target to bring athletes in the United States, and now soccer has become the main focus. The structure is on place. The people that works for the project is all competent people, good human being, which is one of the most important thing. From my point of view, it's just 10 days, but I'm already feeling that I'm in the right place, and I'm working for a good project. So this is what I can say about the structure.
Are you happy with the level of qualification, talking about the UEFA Pro License coaching course?
Yes, of course, because if you think UEFA Pro license is the most important license in the world of football, and my license give me the chance, if I will ever have this chance, to coach also the national teams, which is something that I don't know if I will do, but I can dream of, because as I always say to the players, it's the same for me.
Yeah.
So why not? I'm still young, so I can do it. I can make it. Yes, when you participate at a pro license coaching course, you are surrounded by the top coaching tutors, and your colleagues as well are people that coach at the top level. So every day is an exchange of information and experiences. It's not just the lesson itself. It's what you live in those 2 years with other colleagues, and then you go to watch some other clubs. So it's a broad of experience that make you, for sure, definitely a better coach.
As we wrap up this conversation, Coach, if you get a lucrative deal to coach one of the top African teams, would you move to Africa?
Yes, of course, I will.
Lovely one.
Of course, I will.
Yeah.
If South Africa would be South Africa, even better.
Yeah. I know Kaizer Chiefs is struggling, and here's your experience, and the team is struggling. I'm certain they could do wonders with your expertise. Coach, thank you so much for sharing your exhilarating story with us on Africa at Play.
Thank you very much.
Your final word?
My final word?
Yeah.
I don't have a final word. I just want to thank you for having me here. I want to thank these boys because they're making us very proud, and I want to thank South Africa for the warm and friendly welcome again.
Beautiful, beautiful global story. Excel, your parting shot, your final word?
Yeah, thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you for having us here.
There's a boy, a girl somewhere around Africa, in Lubumbashi, DR Congo, or in Shidengele, north of Mozambique, or in Harare, Zimbabwe, listening to this conversation, inspired, hearing that you stand a chance to play abroad one day. What would you like to say to that child who thinks that tomorrow is not looking good for them?
I like to say nothing is impossible. Like, there's always a way. You just have to try to be in the right positions to find it. Yeah, and never give up hope.
Yeah.
That's
lovely stuff. And Ndale, they say the king always has the final say. It looks like you're the king in this forum.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to say to everyone that's listening, all the sports people, I'd like to say that this thing is not all about like actually making it in professional and thinking that if you don't make it, like, it's done or you should give up. Like, give it time, because like it's going to come if you tell yourself that you want it to come. Don't rush the process, don't do anything, just be determined and be focused. And I'd also like to give a shout out to my parents, obviously they're at home. I'd give a shout out to my coach Tendo. I've been with him for like 5 years. I'd like to give a shout out to my close friends. We call ourselves Irmandare. Give a shout out to them. I'd like to give a shout out to Hardcore Basics Academy as well. All the players there and all the players from Worldwide Scholarships that I know. And thank you, Janet, for bringing me here. Thank you.
Lovely stuff. Do you think Bafana will win the World Cup one day?
If I was there, they will.
Yeah?
If I'm there, they will.
Yeah.
If I'm there.
So how many years, more or less, without adding any pressure on your shoulders?
Let's say, okay, let's not, the next World Cup, I'll be there.
You'll be there, ne?
Yeah.
Looking forward to that World Cup. Coach, I know that you've already said your final word, but I want to bring you on this one as we wrap up this conversation. Italy, we know them to be superpowers of the world, but when it gets to that World Cup stage, things seem to work out differently. It shows just how great football is globally. How long will it still take for the Italians to walk onto the pitch and be there until the final whistle of the World Cup and lift it?
Yes, now probably this, the last one has been the third time that Italy doesn't make the final stage. And this tells a lot about two things, the main things. One is the one that you just mentioned. So now football is about world, is a global stuff. There is not anymore countries where they don't make the final stage, and so Italy was considered probably one of the 4 or 5 best countries, football countries in the world until 20 years ago. Now it's not like that anymore, probably because also about too many foreign players that come to Italy that don't give, in my opinion, many chances to the young Italian players to progress to the first team. And if you don't play, you don't improve, and then you don't make the next steps. Lately, it looks like with the Spalletti, the head coach, now things look a bit improving, but still we have to see. Now I think that France and Spain have still something more at the moment.
Thank you so much, Coach, for pulling
You're
through
welcome.
to Africa at Play. Coach Excel, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ndale, thank you so much for pulling through.
Thank you too.
That's how we wrap up the conversation with the Worldwide Scholarships team. That is Excel Arodu and Ndale Rambuda, who are the players, 19-year-olds with a bright future. Excel wants to play for Manchester City and Ndale wants to play for Arsenal. They will be opponents one day, mark my word. And I hope when they get there, they will remember Africa at Play. And of course, the international coach all the way from Europe in Italy, Fabrizio Picaretta.
That podcast was courtesy of Channel Africa, the African perspective.